Hello, hello. I've got a wobbly bit. Oh, it's wobbly. Hey everyone, welcome. I hope you can hear me. Audio test. Yes, audio working fine. There you go. Yes. Hello everyone, welcome. Just move my microphone. Welcome along to Cyberpunk Friday. Yay! No, we're not doing Cyberpunk today. We've got 3 packs of Iron Man to do. And as I tend to do with these Partworks, I let them pile up into like 2 or 3 packs and then binge them all out in one go. So then you guys can watch. Now, normally this stream is Patreon exclusive and member exclusive. I'm doing this with my Partwork builds at the minute. But you know what? It's the season of giving, apparently, and doesn't cost me anything to give this. So free presents, yay, I'll do that. It doesn't cost me any money. Woohoo! So yes, I'm doing this available for everybody today. So you get to watch it live if you're not a Patron or a channel member. So yay! Happy Christmas type period giving presents nonsense. Anyway, yes, welcome. Before we get going, let me do all the usual nonsense, the shout-outs to people that make this content on my channel possible. First and foremost, my channel sponsors, emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop, not used to where the camera is, your one-stop shop for all your model makings, all of them that involve sprinkles like that. All of them. All you need is emodels.co.uk, link in the description below the video. Yay! And of course, my patrons and channel members, as I mentioned, who support this channel directly. If you want to become one of those, big hugs to them. If you want to become one of those and help keep this channel alive, you can go to patreon.com/modelmakingguru. There's a link there on the bottom of the screen. Or you can just press the join button under any of my video content and become a channel member. You get loads of free stuff, extra stuff, exclusive stuff. You get to see these streams when they're live from my partworks, and also you get access to the live 24/7 Zoom hangout for patrons and channel members. So go and check it out. So we'll have a quick look at chat before we crack on. We have Retro Rabbit Studios was the first one in. Rabbit. We have Shellard, who's in. Paul J. Lewis is in. Gross Models, or Models. It doesn't really work when you've not got a last name on there. Chris at Gross Models is in. Welcome you, Stefan last. And I think that's everybody at the moment in chat, so welcome to you. Paul Lewis says Fox has his wobbly bits out, so no change there then. And Shellard says Fox put it away. I can adjust my wobbly bit, look. Moving on. Anyway, yes, so we're going to be carrying on with the Iron Mans, or Ron Mans, as me and Chris like to call it. We have, I don't even know what parts we're doing today. What we're doing, 75 to 86, I think, something like that, if we get that far in. The beauty of these Iron Man partworks is, of course, that they tend to be a lot of little tiny steps rather than big complicated steps, so I might get all 3 boxes done in the next couple of hours or so. Fantastic. But before we get going, before we do anything, I need to obviously thank, this is a partwork by Fanhome, fanhome.co.uk or fanhome.com, not sure which it is, I've forgotten now. It's a 1/3 scale Iron Man partwork, which you build up each month. You get 4 issues each month for the bits to put together, and this has been provided to me very kindly by the good people at Fanhome to film and stream these live shows. So big massive thank you to the people at Fanhome. If you want to get this partwork for yourself, or you want to look at the other partworks they've got, like the Dodge Charger and the R2D2, there's a Dragon Ball Z figures collection. I have no interest in Dragon Ball Z. There's loads of other bits and bobs. Do go and check them out. There's a link in the description below the video for this specific partwork, but you can have a look at the other partworks right there. So go and check them out. But big thank you to the folks at Fanhome. This has cost me nothing. It's been provided free of charge, but all opinions are my own. They have no input into the creative process. Now, I'm hoping that everything's looking nice and smooth for you. It's a little bit framey for me as always, but that's just my preview screen probably. So hopefully it all looks and sounds okay. Do let me know how it looks and sounds. Rabbit says, this is a family show, put the mouse back in the house. Ew. Yes, so we're going to be cracking on. I've got my screwdriver set and all my bits and bobs. I'm going to be using my own screwdriver, but also all the sort of random free ones that come with this and the Dodge Charger in different sizes. I've also got my little screw tidy available in my Amazon store, as is the screwdriver, and I've got me 3-in-1 oil for metal bits. So let's crack on. So I'm going to get some of the magazines out. Let's have a look and see what we've got first. First we have packs 75 to 78. So we'll get these out and we'll start fettling with these. There we go. Put that box there you go. Now, if you're not familiar with partworks, like I say, you build them up each month. It's intended to be a slow build process. Some of them you can get all in one go, but they're meant to be you get one a month, and that's how it goes. So we're going to start with issue 75. Now, I'm not going to dwell too much on the magazines, because if you want to read the magazines, get the partwork, but I'll show you one of them. Issue 75 follows the standard partwork format, which of course is lots of lore and history about Iron Man, Ron Mans. We have lots of stuff about all the different... This one is about Iron Man. What's this one about? Ultron Buster. Iron Man and Thor. We've got information about... I knew you'd turn against me one day, says Thor. This is the Civil War thing, isn't it? When they all fought against each other. Then we have the building part, which is usually quite quick, and then we have more, usually character profiles at the back. This is the loyal butler Edwin Jarvis, who in the MCU later became the computer system, if you remember. Spoilers. But yeah, so we have lots of information. Now, oh, hello, something happened. Paul Lewis has become a channel member, but it's just a reminder, you've been a channel member for 6 months, so big, massive thank you to you, Paul. Very kind of you. It seems so much longer than 6 months, that is. Steady Neris. I see what you did there. Yes, thank you for being a channel member. You are very kind, my friend. Where are we? So yes, so you get lots of information on there. Now, like I've said before this many times, I love the MCU films. I can't stand the comics. It's not that I don't like the stories and stuff, it's just I've always been turned off by the art style, especially the 70s and 80s Marvel art style, which I hated it. I couldn't be doing with it. I could not stand it. And then that meant I just never got into Marvel comics. So while I love the movies to absolute bits, comic books, not really. Not so much. So there's a lot of stuff in it. So I can read through all these and actually learn things now, and it might get me into reading the comics. I'm waiting until I've got all the issues, you see, and then, excuse me, that was the magazine. It's not doing it now, is it? No. There you go. Yes, so I'm wait till I've got all the issues, and then I might be able to actually read up on them and then maybe get some comics, I don't know. Right, so in this one we are building some of the chests. Now what I've got on the table here is I've got the chest that we've built so far. Now I've looked through all the magazines we've got to do, and they all focus around this bad boy. There's nothing to do with the head or the legs or the arms, thank the Lord, thank the Maker. So thank the Lord, that was almost religious. I do apologise. Thank the Maker. Nothing to do with the arms or legs or anything else or hips, so we didn't have to get all of those out of the box. So it's just this today, so it means we've got a lot less clutter on the table here. So we're doing issue 75. Let's find the bits for issue number 75. And that's issue number 76. That's issue number 77. It's the last one we get, isn't it? Oh no, there we go. Now this is quite... I've said this before about this build, it's quite funny because... Oh, I've dropped things. If you've watched my other Partwork builds, you'll know, for example, with the Dodge Charger, you get some quite big stuff to build and quite involved. And last time I did a live stream for Partworks was for the Dodge Charger, and I had 3 packs to do, and I couldn't do them all because I didn't have enough time in 3 hours because it's quite involved. However, with the Iron Man, I'm just going to put a box down on the floor so I can put my rubbish in it. Hang on. With Iron Man, it's kind of small steps. There's not lots of big things to do. So when I'm saying this now, you watch, it'll suddenly kick me in the ass, and I mean, I don't get much done, but I've been so far able to get like 3 issues done because each issue comes with very little to actually do, which is, in one way, it's kind of a shame. But another way, it's great for me streaming it, so there we go. So let's have a look and see, what do we have? Where's the magazine? Where's the actual issue I'm working on? Twang. And I got a very interesting email off Fanhome the other day with a little survey. And I did the little survey, and it was asking questions like, would you be interested in having a Partwork all in one go? You know, would that be something that would be of interest to you as a builder? How would you look at something like that? So it is possible in the future. At the moment you buy these as, like, you know, a subscription over a period of time. It is possible they're looking at maybe doing them all in one go. You just pay up for the whole thing and get the whole thing in a massive box. Some Partwork makers do that. So it would be interesting if they do that, because there are people I know who would be interested in things like this, but they really don't want to have to wait for months and months and months and building it. Right, so we have 2 bits, shoulder plate and shoulder plate. We have big screws, small screws, and finishing detail. Right. Do. So. Ooh, I like that. That's nice. Ooh. I like the fact it's black on this. That's very pleasant. It's very pleasant, that. Now, I did position the camera perfectly so it's about the right distance for this, but we're going to be doing lots of little things. So apologies, you're going to be seeing me doing things from a long way away. Right, so the armour on the right shoulder consists of the shoulder plate 75A and the rear plate 75B, which open up to function as an aerodynamic brake. Ooh. Fit this into there, screw the part in, fix it in carefully, keeping the screw straight in order to align both pieces correctly. Right, I need to put the magazine somewhere. Not the microphone would be good. Right, so I need my lenses so I can see. So it says in words. Oh, don't forget, by the way, if you're watching this live and you're watching embedded in Facebook or Twitter or somewhere, do come and join the live chat. I've got the chat in front of me just up there. if you want to catch my attention in chat, please do at Model Making Guru in your comments, so it puts a little orange box, because I won't be able to see it now. I've got my lenses on. Or you can do a super chat by pressing the dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. Either way, it means that it's a comment that I can't miss. But do come and join live chat. Right, so this needs to go like thusly, and then that goes in there. Line it up nicely would be good. What we shall do is I will get myself a cocktail stick tomorrow. Don't know where that just came from. That cocktail stick's too big. Let's get a smaller cocktail stick. If I had a thin metal rod, that would be even more awesome. But I don't think even this cocktail stick would be small enough. Just to make sure it's all lined up. Is that going to be too small? Too big? Yes, that's far too big. Oh, well, never mind. It was a nice idea. So we'll line up these. I can't see through the hole on the other side to see if it's lined up, which is brilliant. Well done, that man. Oh. Okay, so we need to put one of these big, dirty, great big screws in there. Wait, which screw do we want? An RP screw, which is the big long one. I was about to say, why are we getting other screws, but we've got more stuff to do than just this one thing. So we need to get this screw in there. We need to insert it into the relevant orifice. I might just start manually with that, just to be gentle. Oh, be gentle. Because it's got to go in and not... It's going into plastic, so I don't want to screw up the plastic particularly too much. By gouging it in and it's stuck. Okay. Let's use a screwdriver. I need to make sure it is lined up nicely. Anyway, how is everyone? I hope you are all well and fine and dandy. Don't forget, of course, as always, the important question, and there is one already in chat there, which I'll read in a minute. Bench and belly. Where's the... Where did the screw just go? What? Did I just... Where did that... That screw just vanished. Did it just screw up... Did it go up there? Where... I don't understand. That screw just went... That was weird. I mean, I know you guys probably saw where it went, so do tell me, because I just suddenly was like, there's a screw there, and then there wasn't a screw. I don't understand. Oh well. Bizarre. Right, so, let's try that again, shall we? I'm losing my mind. Right, so let's get this lined up again. It was perfectly lined up and everything then and all. It's quite hard to see, because you can't see through the hole to the other side, so it's quite tricky. Where did that screw just go? If you saw where that screw went, do say in chat, because to me it was just there and then it wasn't, and I'm like, huh? That makes literally no sense. I'm just trying different size screwdrivers. They're not very magnetic, they're them screwdrivers. Let me try a different size head. Slightly smaller bonds might be useful. Yes, bench and belly. What's on your bench? What you're making right now? What is your current project du jour? And what's in your belly? What have you had for your dinner? Or what are you going to have for your dinner? Screwing, screwing, screwing! It's a joke! So let's just get this inserted, here we are. I'm being very gentle. I'm not screwing it like firmly here. I'm not trying to, you know, force it through. I'm just, this is all such double entendre. I'm just being quite careful with it because, like it says in the thing, I don't want to thread it through somewhere where there's no actual hole, and I can't see the hole on the other end. So you can't guarantee it's lined up. There you go. It's lined up properly now, I think. There's always the slight chance it's just cutting into the plastic up there and I can't quite see. It does stick out a fair bit. That's not right. Das ist nicht richtig. Not lined up, is it? Let's try again. because there's no way to know that that is perfectly aligned with the hole at the other side. You can have taken it on trust that you lined up. There's no way to know for sure unless you really push it down and hope. That's a bit more forgiving. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Okay, well, it doesn't seem to go into a hole. That's very tight. I'm guessing it doesn't need to be quite that tight, but it seems to still stick out quite a bit, that screw head, which on the artwork it doesn't. That's not lined up, is it? There's something not quite right there. It's all gone wrong on the first step. No way to know that it's aligned perfectly. It's quite frustrating. Because you've got to try and hold it in place while you're trying to screw the screw in, but it's really hard to hold it in place when you can't actually put that much force on it. Go on now, go on, in you go, in you go. That's better, I think. It's still very tight. It's not wanting to not stick out. I think it's in the right hole, but it's still sticking out from the body a little bit. Let's put it back out a little bit again. Quite challenging. I think it's in the right place. I think it's a bit tight fitting. There we go. Nope, almost. I don't want to. Seeing as I've lost one of these already, I don't particularly want to knacker the screw head. I'll have to do. It's very, very tight. You were matron, but I'm not really fussed if it's tight. It just means it doesn't flop around a lot. We'll have to hope that's not knackered and lined up. If it's a bit tight, that's fine. I don't mind. I'm not going to play with the thing, am I? Right, so scrape some of the paint off there as it's been doing that. Stop, where is it? Belly Pizza, says Lewis. Bench, 124th, Nunu, Audi R8, beverage, Coca-Cola, beer later. Good lad. Where did that screw go? I really have no idea where that screw went. See if it's gone under. Has it somehow gone under the mat? Seeing as nobody's volunteered where it went, let's just have a look and see. Because that's going to. Let's do my bean in now. Nope, it's not there. I wasn't aware of it pinging, so I have no idea where it went. It's not stuck to the magnetic bit of the screwdriver. How very weird. It's like one of Chris's advent magic tricks. The magic disappearing screw. I'll probably find it in the middle of the night when I step on it in a bare foot or something. When I get up to go for a wee in the middle of the night because I'm old. I don't know. So that's on. It's very, very stiff. But like I say, I don't really care if it's stiff. It's not a problem. I'm not 100% confident it's in the right place. But we'll figure it out. I hope I've got it the right way around. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? There's the right way around. Then it says, press the decorative finishing detail into the circle in place as shown in the image. So that needs to go... Hello, there was a thing. What was that? Oh yeah, chat's over there. JC Bricks and Builds has been a member for 10 months. Welcome, James. James? You said Jamie then. Welcome, JC Bricks and Builds. He's an instruction page turner member. Thank you very much for your continued support. Big hugs to you. That screw's going to make my brain hurt now. It's bugging me. I don't know where it went. I really don't know. Hang on. Could it have... No, that's magnetic, but it's not stuck on... Oh, there it is. Stuck to the magnetic bit on my iPad. Such shenanigans. Such nonsense. Right, now as I've got a spare one, I can loosen this one a bit and adjust it. I was getting worried because I thought I only had one screw and I had to not break this screw, so... I just want to loosen it a little bit and make sure that fits down there. That's the sound of a head being knackered. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. Right, it just needs a little bit of adjustment. I've obviously covered this in fingerprint minge everywhere, little mingy fingerprints. That will need cleaning up later. Toothpick I don't need. Gross Models has been a member for 29 months. Ping! May as well use this today as well. Thank you very much, Chris, for your continued supportage. Dorkosaurus in. Hi, Fox. Fox hugs and hugs for everyone in Chatland. Welcome to you, Dorkosaurus. Hugs to you and JC Bricks and Bills. Welcome and thank you for coming along. La 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 la. He does say afternoon, evening, Fox and all in chat. Fox hug. Chris is waiting on his next partwork delivery. His game will be the traditional Ark in a few minutes. You're going to play Ark with Katie. Right, so I need to put this bit in. And this bit goes thusly, like this, you see? Goes in there like that. It's really very Bajoran looking. That's some sort of Bajoran symbol. You can tell I've been watching Deep Space Nine again. I've got a sniffly nose. Let me just wipe my nose because it's a bit snotty today. Now I have to say, by the way, despite having all the warms on in this house at full blast, everywhere in this house is cold apart from the living room where my wolf is sat watching TV. So she's got the heater on full blast and she gets warmth. I've got cold. So yeah, thanks Mama Wolf. Absorbing all the warmth. Right, so it says, place the assembled right shoulder onto the previously assembled chest. Where did I put the previously assembled chest? It's there. Previously, we're going to need these screws now, aren't we? Let's put this here. We're not going to need, that was a, what was that? RP screw, which I can put away. Do we have a slot for RP screws? No, I'll have to keep it in the bag. Flange. Put all my screws over there. If you've noticed before, are that RPs? Oh no. I keep all my screws in the relevant little slots in my tidy. So basically, if I need a spare one, if I lose a screw and I need a spare one, I can quickly find one. I do recommend if you're doing a part work like this, you're not, well, even if you're doing it all in one go, get yourself some sort of little jewellery box like that, jewellery tidy box, just for sorting the screws. So, because you will occasionally come across a screw that's useless and you have to go for a spare, a backup. So if ever you get like a screw and it just won't thread or anything like that, throw it away and get a decent one from your backup stash. So, slot the tab inside of the shoulder pad. Okay, so let's put the screw there. I think it must have, I must have knocked the sponge pad and it went badoing and pinged up or something. So this needs to go onto die chest and gefahrten. We've got the slot there. And the tab here, you see, that goes on like that. It's going to be at a funky angle. So it's going to need some pushing, I think. Pushing. And there's a little hole for it to line up with. For it to almost, there we go. Now watching Chris do this on his string, because he's building this as well, it does seem to be naturally a little bit loose. So, because it doesn't, you've got to line up the metal, the hole in the metal component with the hole in the plastic bit. And they're not quite, I know you guys can't see this. They're not quite lined up if you push them all the way in. They're not quite lined up at all. Move that out of the way. A bit rubbish. Bit of rubbish alignment there. Another tiny screw head, so I'll use an old screwdriver. Right, this is not easy to line up at all. Also, they're going into metal, so... Right, this does seem a little not lined up very well. Oh dear. Looks better on that side, to be perfectly honest. It's the right side, isn't it? Yes. Some slight alignment issue here. Have I got like a knob, a nub or something somewhere sticking up? No. Lose a screw, that never happened, says Chris at Gross Models. Foxx has just admitted he's got mingy fingerprints on his tight floppy thing, says JC. Yep, well done. Pizza says Stefan Last, same topping as I've had for the past couple of weeks. Let me know if you still want to know. Yes, we still want to know. Bench, unreachable. Rabbit says, sorry, missed the last 20 minutes. Had to actually pretend to do something at work. Yeah. It's the best thing to do at work is pretend to do something. Walk around with a piece of paper in your hand. That way, nobody will ever ask you anything and you can walk away because you can always look like you're on your way to something. This is not quite lining up very well. It's not lining up with the hole at all perfectly. It's almost lining up with the hole. Almost. But not really. Which is no use to me at all. It's supposed to go into that little slot there by any chance. That fits into that little slot on the side there, I'm pretty sure. It's not quite lining up, which is most frustrating. Come on now. You can do it if you're being killed. Come on now. It's just not right, perfectly right. That goes in there. That little recess. That slots in all the way, but then it's not lined up with the hole. Okay, this might not be all 3 packs then. We get in 3 hours. I know you guys can't really see this very well, but it's just not quite lining up. It's a little tiny bit off, and I've got no play in this plastic at all to wiggle it around. I'm tempted to just widen the hole a little bit so it fits in. I'm assuming that this little lip here, let's just put that there, this little lip here goes into that little recess there. I don't know that for sure, but it does seem to be a natural fit. So there's no leeway to go up and down. I may have to actually just widen that hole and just force it to fit, I think. I can't hold it in place and sort the screw out at the same time. There we go. It's just not quite lining up perfectly, which is just not any use to me at all. No, I'm going to have to widen that hole, I think. Tactical vandalism. Just a little bit, because there's no way for me to line it up. It may well be that the plastic's slightly misshapen or the metal component's slightly out of place, but needs must. Wouldn't be the first time I've had to fettle to get things to fit with the Partwork. A bit more. I'm just basically widening that side of the hole with my knife blade. Something I've done enough times on model kits. I'm sure it'll be fine. As long as the actual piece of armour is going where it needs to go, and is the right way around, there's always another thing. Let's put that in there. Seems a bit better. I can actually get the screw in the hole. Now I need to find the screw. There it is. Right, so let's a bit of plastic out of the hole. I've got some debris in there now. Get out. Right. Hopefully this won't have any long-term consequences. Hopefully. Consequences. No. That's in the way. It doesn't help. Got to do 2 of these, haven't I? Right. still not quite perfect, but I might be able to just get the head screw in and then it'll force its way through. Come on. Do me a solid. Get in the hole. Oh. Nope. More widening. More widening. I don't want to widen it too much that then makes the plastic weak, you see, and just cracks when I try and get it in place. That's better, I think. Someone needs to make an electromagnetic screwdriver that grips so well that it never lets the screw go anywhere, because this is quite frustrating, getting the screw falling off every 2 seconds. Nope. Gosh darn it. The risk is now, of course, that the screw is far too big. The hole's too big and the screw just disappears into the hole. But if that's the case, we've got some flanged screws I can use if absolutely necessary, I think. Probably I can... Gosh darn it. It's actually going to... Yeah, it's going to sit out. There we go. Right, let's go for a slightly smaller screw head again. I can imagine this is fascinating to watch. Right, there we go. Let's try this one. We will get this attached. It will happen. Ja, das ist richtig. I've been playing... I've been playing some Wolfenstein. I've played Wolfenstein New Order before, but I've never played New Colossus or the original Old Blood one. So I've got myself them and been playing through them, and it's quite good fun reading all the signage. The signage is so well done in the game, all the little markings and signs and stuff, that you can actually Google Translate it as you go along. That's not going in there now. Right, get in the hole. It tasks me, and I shall have it. So yeah, it's quite good fun just sort of walking into a room and sticking Google Translate on your phone onto all the little posters and things on the walls to read them. Right. It tasks me. Time for some oil goodness. Let's activate some of the big boy machinery. Let's get some oil on the go. Right, and then let's knock the screw off the screw head. That'd be great. This is going to be just a blinding failure, isn't it? Oi, oi, oi. There we go. That's better. Not perfect, but it's better. Let's try another one of these screwdrivers. Get that out of the way. Sometimes these ones you get with the Partworks, this is I think one from the Dodge Charger, they're only cheap little crappy screwdrivers, but sometimes they do work much better than a nice expensive screwdriver. They just sometimes grip perfectly. Right, so that's that in. It's lined up almost in there, almost. There we go. It's lined up on there. It's a little bit wobbly. That's not so bad. Not perfect. But I'm sure there's other armour that will lock it into place anyway. So you've got the air brake there. Have to hope that that's correct. Really have to hope that. Woo, that was challenging. Has anyone fell on their ass on the ice because I did earlier, says Shellard? Not yet. You just missed the mystery of the lost screw. It was eventually solved though, says Stefan last. To Rabbit. No, 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 no. I'm here and wearing earphones. Give me a moist. Hang on then. Take my thingies off. Moist. There you go. For all you wearing headphones, I've given you a moist. Dogsaurus says, belly cream of wheat with diced peaches and toast, stuff I need to finish. Charlotte says, Rabbit says, off again, need both hands for something engine-y. There you go. Ooh, sounds good. Right, well, that was a pain in the bum. That should line up. It does suggest that little bit there needs to line up with that slot, which it almost does, just about, sort of, if I force it. So later on I can just push it into place like that. It's a bit stressed. It's not exactly fitting perfectly, I've got to be honest with you. But it's about as good as it gets. I'm sure we can force it into place later somehow, forcefully, in a way that will not damage anything at all. Right, so that is that bit. That's that bit done. Let's put that issue away. Let us go to the next one. Yeah, that's it. Richtig. Next we have issue 76. Strangely enough, let's put these screws away though. What do we have? That's an RP, which is a new one. That's an EM, which goes in there. Yes, I'll have some slight concern about that armour later on, perhaps when it's not sitting quite in the hole, but yeah, we'll worry about it later. I'm sure it'll be fine. And now we have exactly the same thing again on the other side. So marvel and watch as we do exactly what we've just done all over again. Right, so where's my knife? There it is. Let's get this open. Yes, so bench and belly, folks. Bench for me, obviously this right now, but then later on I'm trying to film the Orc Big Track. I keep calling it Mega Track. The Orc Big Track, which is like the tracked flatbed thing that I've got a supercar to go on the back of it. So I'm trying to film an actual proper painting guide that I haven't done for a long time. So I need to get that done. Belly tonight, I don't know, it'll probably be fish and chips, but like, you know, make it yourself fish and chips, not fish and chips from our fish and chip shop. Because it's the only thing in the freezer I can make without defrosting it, and I haven't defrosted anything, so yeah, you know how it goes. The only two things in the freezer I've got that I can cook without defrosting are an enormous 2 kilogram bag of chopped up cabbage and a Findus chip shop fish block thing, whatever it is. Right, so this is the same again. So I'll just make sure we've got the right way around. So it's going to be there, and it's going to be there. Yes. So exactly the same again. This one might be a bit of a more friendly fit, possibly. Big screws are fine, it's just they're quite tricky sometimes because this head's too small now. Because you've got this big wibbly wobbly screw at a funny angle and it's wiggling around. It's quite hard to. You've got to try and keep you've got to try and make sure the screw goes through straight. But then, of course, when it's about 3 foot long, it can get a bit tricky doing that. That can be a tricky proposition, don't you know? And I apologise if I keep going off camera, by the way. Them's the breaks. This one might be a bit more forgiving. It seems to be playing ball a bit more. Please be nice, please be nice, please be... Oh, yes, this is much better, this one. There you go, that's much better. Much better. Oh, as stiff as anything, but it's better. Oh, it's stiffer than me when I've just woken up on a cold winter's morning. Woo. Right, so this needs to go on the chest as well then. Oh no, I need to put the Bajoran symbol on it. Which is already scratched from the packaging. Brilliant, I can touch that up later. I am toying with the idea anyway, with this, of actually weathering him. Once I've built him, weathering him, giving him the battle damage and stuff. And you might say, yeah, but it's like a very expensive thing to do battle damage. It's like, well, it's not cost me anything, and you know what I mean? Might as well have some fun with it. Does this one fit? And is this one going to be more forgiving? See, this one fits like a glove. Gosh darn it, I think. This one's... I knew one would be perfect and one would be absolute nonsense. Oh well. I don't mind having an easier time of it, let's just be honest. That's 2 RPs, I'll put them in the same bag. Yes, I've been playing Wolfenstein. I've played through the New Order before, and it's a really good game. I might actually stream it, you know, once I've played through them. I've played through the New Order when it came out in 2014, I think. I've not played the New Colossus, and I've not played the Old Blood, so I've played a little bit into the New Order, and I thought, no, I'm going to play the Old Blood first, because that takes place before the New Order. So I'm playing that at the minute. And then once I've done that, I'll go back to the New Order, then on to New Colossus, and I might do it as a stream. I might drop out Cyberpunk for a little bit and do Wolfenstein. Of course, the difficulty is it's all violence and shooting and all that goodness. So, but you are fighting against the Third Reich, so it's all good. It's always acceptable to be fighting against the Third Reich. Right, now this, I need to move that out of the way. Get it on camera. Hold it in place. A bit of oil on the screw. Bob's your uncle. Fan is your aunt. How easy was that? There you go. See? Much easier. There. No problems. No nonsense. No fighting to get it to fit. It fits just about the same. Yeah, still not quite in that slot, but that's fine. Makes me feel better about that one because it's in about the same place. So there we go. Such nonsense. So that's them 2 bits. Let's give them a little bit of a buff and a clean. So yes, I'm playing through that, and I've got to say, because it's been a while since I played it, the control scheme for the Wolfenstein games, for at least for New Order and Old Blood, is fantastic. I love it. I love the press the right bumper to like look up. It's very similar to Medal of Honor Airborne. It's like Medal of Honor Airborne mixed with Medal of Honor Frontline. It's the thing where you hold down the right bumper and then you kind of stay in place and you can move up and down like that. So let's say I can't really demonstrate it, but let's say you're looking down the barrel of your gun like that. There's no way to look up above cover or lefts, but when you hold down the right bumper, you can kind of lean out and lean up and down. So you can duck down behind. It's really intuitive, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm hoping they keep that in the new Colossus as well. So I only got them because they were like £2 each on Xbox sale. I'm like, well, for £2 or £3 for a full price AAA game, I'll have that. So I'm playing through them, really enjoying them. So yes, I might actually stream those. I might swap out Cyberpunk for a bit. Of course, there's lots of swearing, lots of really violence, like, you know, creeping up behind like a lieutenant and literally like cutting his throat. Hell, doesn't pull any punches. Right, so that's that bit done. Wolfenstein! And of course, I will pronounce it Wolfenstein correctly because it's the German name of a German castle. So it makes sense to call it the correct name. Right, let's get these bits off there because they can scratch. Bits of plastic coming off everywhere when I've been cutting holes. Jeff is in. Oh, hang on, Jeff is in. It's time for a quote. Are we ready? Let's get the quote ready. Oh, I've already got the quote ready because I prepared. Here we go. Jeff is our very own in-house Carl Sagan. So let me find the quote. It's now scrolled down. I lost the quote. So let me find a good quote. I've got to find it now. Here we go. The truth may be puzzling. It may take some work to grapple with. It may be counterintuitive. It may contradict deeply held prejudices. It may not be consonant with what we desperately want to be true. But our preferences do not determine what's true. There you go. We have a method, and that method helps us to reach not absolute truth, only asymptotic approaches to the truth. Never there, just closer and closer. That's terrible. I won't do the rest of that. It wasn't. The first half was the important bit. So there you go. I had a very good quote set up to start with, but it re-scrolled itself down. So there you go. Welcome, Jeff. Jeff is our in-house Carl Sagan. I don't know why. He just is. So it always needs a Carl Sagan quote. Ah, la, 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 la. Nobody laugh at Fox, says Shellard. Anyone fell on? Oh no, not. I forget how we've done that one. Not had ice yet, but apparently it's on its way. Nobody laugh. Why is nobody laughing at me? Why would people be laughing at me? What? I don't understand. Welcome, Jeff. Hooray! It's a Carl Sagan quote to brighten the day, says Jeff. Absolutely. It's funny watching. I'm watching through Cosmos again. It's funny how many little quotes suddenly pick out, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's that quote, there's that quote, oh, there's that one. The ones that I've forgotten. Right, so issue 77. We are making a mystical, magical box. I know what this is. A shoulder joint thing, isn't it? Which, if you watch Chris's build, you have to build and then take apart again later on. There's a good reason for that, but hey. Right, so let's get this one decombobulated. Discombobulation. There's only one downside to watching Cosmos, Carl Sagan's Cosmos, A Personal Odyssey, is that the track from Vangelis' track from Heaven and Hell, which they use as the theme, really will not get out your head. You'll be in there for months. It's a beautiful piece of music. I went really high pitched then. It's a beautiful piece of music, and I love it because I love Vangelis. And I knocked the microphone. Well done, Fox. I don't know how the Carl Sagan got associated either, but Colin once said he says it to make me blush and to get model making guru to the voice and say a quote. There you go. Right. Arm base 1 and arm base 2. And some LP screws. What now? What we do? With box formed by pieces, blur is the central base for the arms. Later this will be placed inside the chest. Slot arm base onto arm base. So it goes into, can you guess? Like that. Or maybe not. More ill-fitting plastic parts. Fantastic. There we go. Only fits in one position. Use the circular pegs at each end as a guide. Yes. Circular pegs. There we go. Right, so that goes in there like that. Eventually. And it says, fix the piece together with 2 LP screws. Don't screw them too tightly, as they'll have to be removed in the future to access the inside of the box. What's in the box? Access the inside of my box. Wait, stop. So we need 2 LP screws. Das ist ein Screw, ein zwei Screw. Ja, das ist richtig. Yeah, so the actual leaning mechanic in Wolfenstein is it's so good. It's so good. I was about to say it's so goodly done, but that's the most stupid thing I could possibly say. It's so beautifully done. It's very satisfying. Now, these are going into plastic, so I don't need any oil, and I'm only going to loosely screw them in because we have to take it apart again. So I'm just going to delicately put them in. And I'm playing on Series X, so it was never given the current gen glossy finish. It was upgraded for Xbox One X, but it was never tarted up for Series consoles, so I think it's not going in together very well. I think it's not at 4K natively. I think it's being upscaled by the console to 4K. I'll do. Okay, that's it. That's that step. There you go. Lovely. Step complete. Next one, issue number 78. Said the typewriter. Here we go. Right, this is where we get to put it in the chest and add some bits to it now. Max Haas. And I fell afoul of first-person shooters over the years. I used to love them, and then I kind of grew weary of them after I grew up and got into open world games. But Wolfenstein, it's so playable. It's so much fun, and you're shooting Nazis, which is always a winner. You know, you're fighting Nazis. The perfect video game villain, because you never have to feel bad about killing them because they're Nazis. So yeah. Make sure there's nothing left in there. Looks like a little sort of control panel for something, doesn't it? Anyway, LP. We got LP screws in a little slot. Oh, there. Let's put that LP screw in there. Right, so place the right shoulder joint casing on the right side of the arm base. To identify the right side, the two pegs should be facing downwards. The two pegs should be facing to the right, and the slot should be facing downwards. So that's facing upwards. That's facing downwards. That's quite logical. I like that. The joint casing has a small peg on the outer ring that fits into the slot. So we want to get this piece. Small peg there. Hopefully on camera. Small peg. That fits into there like that. You'll see like that. Yes. And then this is secured in place. With a QP screw, but it doesn't actually say that. But we've only got Q. What a QP screw? Do we get? Yeah, there we go. A QP screw, like a QP doll. I don't know. Is it like a QP doll? I don't know what a QP doll is. That goes there. So that goes on. So it's again there, with the slot facing downwards. That goes into place there, like there to see. Lockety lock. Super match game. This big screw. Going into plastic, so no oil required. And I'm screwing. Now, if this is the shoulder joint, one assumes that this is going to need to be not too tightly screwed, because the risk with plastic is if you do it too tightly, it just shatters or breaks the plastic it's going into. So you don't want to be too handy with it. It does stick up a little bit, which is weird. Still moving. Out a little bit and then back in again. Okay, that's in. Got quite a lot of play in that to go all the way through. Then it says place the friction block inside the joint casing. So the friction block is this little puppy here. So it goes in that way. The concave faces outward. Concave, of course, being that side. Yes. It's a good job I know what concave means. Isn't it? And then I've got to put this down, but of course I can't put it down anyway because it won't stand up. It says, fit the right shoulder joint into the joint socket and position the socket as shown above. So it goes like this, you see. That reminds me of when I was a kid and we used to play games like Sorry. And you had like a board game and all the little figures look like that. It had a pop-o-matic thing in the middle. Ah, the memories. That goes like that. Do not tell me now to put this away in a safe place, because that would be nonsense. Place the ball and socket into the assembly of the arm base and shoulder joint casing. So that goes in like this. It's got to line up. So it's got to line up how? What? Oh, I see. Right. There's a peg there. And there's a hole there, but there's 3 holes there, but they're for screws. The socket has a pin that fits into the hole on the casing, which is indeed that one. So I just figured that out myself, and then it told me how to do it. Cool. So that goes on there like that, and then this goes on there. This does go on there like not at all. Perfect. Doesn't want to fit at all, does it? Most confusing. Does seem to naturally have a dirty great big gap in it anyway. Okay. The assembly should be secured fairly tightly. Right, so we need let's get the screws out first. So we need 3 LP screws. Now the photograph does show a gap between the 2 halves. So the fact that it's not exactly fitting tightly suggests to me that screwing it into place will secure it all down, and it has to have that little gap anyway. So let's get a screw on the go. I'm a screw. How do you do? That sits on there, so the middle bit's there. So we should... Oh, sponge. Action sponge. Right, that goes there. That goes there. Line up die Holen gefahrten. Ja, das. And the screw's fallen off the screw head. Fantastic. You can get out there. That goes in there like that. That's the wrong way round. You simpleton. Hang on. You'll go there like that. I'm doing off camera, aren't I? I do apologise. I always make sure the focal point of the camera is not in a place that's easy for me to actually work. You go there like that. You come out screw. Right. Let's try that again, shall we? Tune in next week when you hear Dr. Bob say, goodness me. Slight frustrations. Get on. Oh. Get on the place. There you go. Das ist richtig. If you've never played it, I would strongly recommend, at the very least, because I've played that, I would recommend Wolfenstein: The New Order. It's very, very good. It's based... Oh, there's spilled coffee on it. Right, I might have to do this off camera a little bit because I need to look at it right from above. And I've got the sniffle, so I do apologise. Right, put that there. All the jiggling. Wiggling and jiggling. And then a voice from above said, Horace Wimp, this is your thing. Right, I know I'm not on camera, probably much, but I need to be able to look down on top of this. There we go, that's one in. Yes, huge success, that's one. Yeah, if you've not played any of them, I'd really recommend it. If you like first-person shooters, it's basically... The New Order is basically 1960s, where the Allies didn't win World War II. And you can take it from there. It follows on from all the other games in the series. But it's really good. It's really well done. 2014, it's like I say, it's not been upgraded to current gen standards, which is a shame. But then the new Colossus uses Unreal Engine 6, which pushes it even further, so... Right, so that's going in. That's going in nicely. Yeah, they're securing in. Nice. Nice. I watched Chris doing this, and I was a little bit worried about this bit, but it does seem to go together without a gap. That's a bit too tight, I've gone. So it does seem to have a little gap in the photograph. So let's bring that back. Balance it out so they all look about the same distance. There we go. That's better. So I've got some movement there. There does seem to be a slight gap. If you screw it down all the way, you see there's a gap between the two parts there. That matches the photograph here. And it does say it needs to be stiff, but they will get looser later. And you have to remember, of course, that the arm weighs about 3.5 metric tons. So if you have a big heavy metal arm and put it on its loose, it goes, it'll be a bit bish. So probably a little bit, just a tiny bit more, just to tighten it even tiny smidge more. Just to make it even stiffer. Because it doesn't matter if the arm's stiff to move, it just means it's not going to flop around. Excuse me. The right shoulder is now ready. Keep the support for the right shoulder armour. Future issues. There we go. That's that one done. Right. So there we go. That's that bit done. I'll put that magazine there. And that concludes that first pack. So I'll put these screws away. We'll put that there. Nice and shiny. LP screw. Have we got a slot for LP screws? We do not have, or do we have? Do we have LP? No. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So I don't know. Would you have any interest if me spending a few weeks streaming through the Wolfenstein games before we go back to Cyberpunk? Because the thing is that with my gaming stuff, sometimes I'll be playing a game and it's just anything that takes my fancy, and if I'm really enjoying a game I like to try and share it with you. So let me know if there's any interest in that from you, either in chat, or if you're not watching this live, put it in the comments below. Swig of water. If you'd be interested in me playing through the Wolfenstein series, it would just be Old Blood, New Order, and the Colossus ones, and Young Blood. I've not played that yet either. Right, now we have many Biglies. Ooh, we've got Biglies now. This is issue 79 to 82. Yeah. So let's see how we get on with these. Let me find 79 first. Because I am enjoying, I'm enjoying playing through Cyberpunk with you. Don't get me wrong. But it's, I've got my own playthrough of that as well, and it's sometimes difficult when you're doing a game where it's got quests and storylines like that, where it's things. If it's just a bog standard first-person shooter, and I've played it before, then I don't mind doing it while I'm doing other things, or playing it another time. But with something like Cyberpunk and things like that, it's difficult when you've got you're giving yourself spoilers, and then I've got to try and be enthusiastic for it on the telly. Right, so we need 79. That's 79. Parts included in issue 79. Hi la la la. So, I think we're putting on the other arm support and then putting in the shoulder joint. I just found out, says Jeff, that Mobius Models makes an actual size model of the HAL 9000 faceplate. There are only 6 or 7 parts in this kit, but I think I'll have to get one. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And put lights in it and a speaker so HAL can taunt you threateningly, says Paul Lewis. Yeah, stick a little Arduino board in there. There's probably billions of samples of the voice actor doing HAL. Oh, you know what'd be brilliant? Oh, you know what'd be amazing if you had access to it. If you had access to that software that costs a lot of money, where it can take 30 seconds of someone speaking or a few minutes of someone speaking, and then it can completely just synthesize their voice and it sounds just like them. Imagine getting all the voice lines from HAL, making it into a single waveform, getting the software to analyze that, and then it could basically make HAL say anything you wanted it to. That'd be great. Although I'd also want to sample Majel Barrett being the Star Trek computer, or the woman that does the Deep Space Nine computer. Nobody knows who that was. That's a shame. Right, so got to do the same again with the shoulder jointing here. It's on this one. I noticed Chris had some issues with one of the arms being a bit loose, so it might be worth having some joints being a bit tight, and you think, not sure if it was this one there. Well, yeah, I'm making sure that is as tight as, basically. Oh, nah, bro, that's as tight as. I don't mind over-tightening it completely at all. It's not a problem. So that's left and right. So that's left and right. Does it say Ellen? Oh, it says LNR on it. There you go. Right, so we need to do the same again with this one, which is going to be, that needs to go in there. Yep, like that was it. So we need to put the knife away for a start. So we need one big fat QP screw. Quepe. I did that with the knees as well. I made sure that when I did the knee joints, I put some oil in there, so they were actually, because it's like a ratchet joint in the knee. I put some oil in it so it actually worked, but only enough to make it work, but still be really, really tight. Right, so a Quepe screw. So yeah, would they be interested in that if I swapped out the Friday stream just for a few weeks to play Wolfenstein? I'd start with, like I said, Old Blood's not as exciting and interesting as the other two, though, because the other two have the cool angle of it being set in the 1960s in a world where Germany won and everything's under the Third Reich. They nuked Manhattan and all that kind of good stuff, They won the war. Everybody surrendered. Now we need to do the same again with this one, which is like this, you'll see, and then like this. That's sticking out there, and then we need the screws. Hang on, I've not got my screw ready. 3 LP screws, that's the one. LP screws. So I don't need that QP now. That QP can go with that QP there. All about screw organisation. Do shout at me, by the way, if I'm off camera all the time, because I keep forgetting where the camera... Even there's a dirty, great big orange mark there. Tell me where the camera is. La 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 la. Yeah, get that HAL thing and get it made up. That'd be great. Or even better, for a laugh, give it an alternative voice memo where it actually has the voice of excuse me, the voice of what's the thing called in Portal? The computer's called something. I've forgotten the name of the computer. I was just watching a Portal video earlier, and GLaDOS, that's it. Oh, crud. The voice of GLaDOS. So this needs to go in there, same as the other time. Not that way around though, you spingle. That way around, yeah, that's richtig. I'll get the screw ready on the screwdriver. We've been here before. I do apologise for my tickly cough, folks. Unfortunately, it's my medication that gives me a scratchy throat and cough, which is a massive pain in the backside, especially when I'm trying to get to sleep. And it seems to only ever like kick in when I'm about to go to sleep or trying to go to sleep, or when I'm about to do a live stream or trying to do a live stream. It's a massive pain in the butt. Right, so that's in there. This one can go in here like that, was it? Only loosely. Anyway, how is it? I hope you're all well. I hope you're all having a good start to your weekend today. I'd like to thank you all for those of you who sent me birthday wishes. Big thank you to all of you. It was very kind of you. I did get a good haul of stuff for my birthday, which I will show you when it turns up. Unfortunately, it's all being sent by Royal Mail, which is, yeah, good luck with that. So, yeah. So, just waiting for packages to turn up at the moment, which is a bit rubbish. Could be any time between now and, like, May. But I'm complaining, because I fully support our posties. I don't mind a bit of hardship if it helps them. So there you go. I support my local postie, absolutely. It was tight. That's about right. A little bit more, perhaps. Boop. 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 But we're not going to talk about politics. No politics, no religion. Anyway, yes, so that's really tight, and that's in a goodly way. It's tight, but not in a Yorkshire way. You know what I mean. I might have made it too tight. You never know. It could be far too tight now. I could be like, oh, bugger, I've done it wrong. Right, so we've done that bit. Now it says, to fix the arm base in position, first unscrew and remove part 77B, which is this bit. Remember it said we have to take it off. So, we have to remove and unscrew that. Take the top back off again. Get your top off. La 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 la. That comes off. There you go. And place it into the body. Welcome to the body. Everybody, everybody, right body. Now it needs to line up with these two rods here. I think. That way around. Take the chest and position the arm base inside. The base slots onto the pegs in the chest 72A. Okay, and it says that has to be at these at the bottom because they're not in the middle. They're lower they're at the bottom, so that goes on there like that. Now I know, Chris, you did ask the question: why did you have to take this lid off? To screw, why did you put this lid on and then have to take it off again? Because Chris was saying you could have just screwed it on with the lid on. I don't think you could, because I think what you do is you get a screw. When I was watching your video, imagine you have this lid on and you get a screw to screw this in, and then the screw comes off the screwdriver. You've now got a screw inside this box rattling around. I think that's why they've done it that way. I think it kind of makes sense. And you want two IM screws. IM screws. IM screw. Anyone see the Guardians Christmas special? It was mildly amusing. It was all right. Got Kevin Bacon in it. It was very strange because it wasn't a motion picture. with all the normal motion picture post-processing. It's strange because it looks like it's very weird, but because it was like film for TV almost, it kind of looks like actors in makeup on a set rather than the characters as they normally look. Which I found it very weird. I was like, oh, they look like actors. It's weird. They look like actors in prosthetics. I can't quite cope with that. It was very strange. It was good though. It was alright. It was most amusing. I just like anything with rocket in it is good for me. They need to do stuff just with rocket. I'd pay to watch that. Just rocket. Rocket and Groot. Right, I think we're in. I can't tell if the screws are turning or shearing. I think they're in there. Seems fairly stiff. I've done that the wrong way, haven't I? Have I? You dingleberry fox. That is the wrong way up. I had the thing the right way up, the box the right way up. I just had the actual torso the wrong way up. Hello. Simpleton. It's not hard, Fox. Just, follow the instructions. It's not hard. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. There's no profit in it for a start. There you go. Yeah. We'll try that again, shall we? Burpage. Touch of oil. I am absolutely ravenous. And I don't know if fish and chips, homemade fish and chips, will actually fill that void. I'm not convinced. Wait a minute. What are these screws now? I've got 2 screws there as well. What screws were they? IM. What are those screws? I think that's the right screw. I've no idea what those screws are. Oh, they're the other ones for the... Yeah, that's right. Panicking then. I was putting the wrong screws in the wrong place. There we go. That's that one. And that's this one. There's my big screwdriver. Make sure this is in nicely. Nicely. Diddle-doo-doo-doo-doo. There we go, that's better. Now we can put this one back on. That is the right way. Just checking. Yes, the right way around. This time, tighten the screws firmly, matron. Firmly. Yes, it's these 2 screws again, isn't it? LP screws. I'll just double check they are LP screws. Yes. I just got confused because I put those 2 screws next to 2 other screws. And hang on, which is which there? That's that one. Put that one in loosely to start with. Yeah, good old rocket. Oh, wrong hole. That was the wrong hole. So I can put these in tightly. Tightening now, sir. It says put these in tightly, they say. But not so tight that you break any plastic. But tight enough that it won't come apart. There we go. So now you've got 2 very stiff arm joints. Ooh. Ooh, madam, that's so stiff. No guarantee, of course, this won't just all break. I can still get in there and tighten those screws if I want to, which is kind of handy. If I needed to. Theoretically, if I needed to take it apart, I could do it without taking the lid off. But yeah, I understand why they get you to take that off, because if you put your screw down there and then it went, and it's not a tube, so it will just, your screw falls off because you're trying to fit the screw in a hole that you can't see. Yeah, it would be an endeavour of horrible silliness. Right, what's next? Next is what chat's doing. The voice of Douglas Rain, Hal, will be fun to hear. The voice of GLaDOS will be terrifying. Oh, look, I'm not a potato anymore. Hearing a conversation between Hal and GLaDOS will be interesting. Yeah, I like GLaDOS. I've now got the... I've got Still Alive in my head now. The song from Portal. If you've never played Portal and Portal... Oh, there's a thing for you, Jeff. Because you're getting into your computer games, aren't you? If you've never played Portal and Portal 2, if you can get them, trust me, they're basically puzzle games, but they're the best games you'll ever play. Right, so we've got these. Right support for the shoulder armour on the side of the chest assembly. It is marked on the inside with an R and only fits in eine Position. R, 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 R. And it fits in one position only, which is das Position ist richtig. And it fits in place with 2 EM screws. E for elephant, M for melephant. I don't know, making it up now. M for melephant. I'm just an idiot. Tell you what, you may think I'm a loon the way I waffle on like this and talk rubbish, but I'll tell you what, you do a live stream where you're on your own for more than for 3 hours and you've got to fill the dead air, you'll soon learn how to talk nonsense endlessly. It's the way you survive. It's the only way to be. If you ever want to get into live streaming, then you really do have to be the kind of person that can entertain yourself endlessly for hours on end. And don't be rude. I don't mean like that. Well, it's handy. But if it was OnlyFans or something. But yeah, you need to be the kind of person who is can easily just keep themselves amused, because basically that's what you're doing on a live stream. I can't literally talk to any of you people, although you're there in chat. So you really are having to just entertain yourself whilst entertaining everybody else. I've seen so many streams where people, they just don't have that gene, and they just sit there, and either they sit there quietly, or they may occasionally read out a bit of chat, but they just don't have any life to them. It's like, just don't. If you can't entertain yourself and keep yourself entertained for hours on end, then yeah, don't get into live streams. The left support for the shoulder and some EM screws, more EM screws. So yeah, that's the challenge. Because you have to remember, right, when you're doing a live stream, here's the thing. I'll give you some free advice on live streaming, YouTube, this kind of stuff. When you're doing a live stream like this, the simple truth of the matter is that nobody actually cares what you're doing. Not really. I mean, some of you, well, not every single person really gives a crap what I'm actually doing on screen. It's not really important what I'm doing on screen, whether I'm building an Iron Man, or I'm playing a video game, or I'm painting an orc. It doesn't really matter. And you know this because, first of all, it's the same people that come to watch my stuff no matter what I'm doing. And they come to... I'm not trying to big myself up here. I'm not like some amazing thing to watch. They come for the crack. They come for the community in the chat. They come because perhaps they find me amusing in some way. That's beyond my control. But mostly it's because they have fun in the chat. And I'm just nice. It's just a nice thing in the background to be able to listen to. So if you want to get into live streaming, you can't sit there quietly just... I see so many, especially on Twitch. People they just sit there and they're painting something, and it's just, they might occasionally read a comment out from chat, but they just have no real, there's nothing, I don't know, I just never understood it. You can't be a wallflower in this industry. It says right now, the neck joint slots into the upper part of the chest to fit the joint with the longer side facing forwards as shown. That doesn't really help because it doesn't really show the longer side facing forward, but... Oh, I see. No, it means... Yeah, okay, I've got you. I understand. It does help. So it goes in where? It goes into here, see, like that, you see? Thing, and it goes into that little slot there. This is like a gunplay. It's great. It's like a Gundam neck joint. And I can't imagine that's going to be one that goes in the head because that's tiny. Right. And that concluded of that particular issue. We're starting to get... Looks like some kind of rabbit. It's like some kind of cyber rabbit. There you go, you've got 2 eyes, a big round mouth, sticky up ears. It's like some kind of weird... Yeah, moving on. So that was issue 79. 97, or whatever that is in German. What's the next one? Is 80, obviously. I like 2001: A Space Odyssey so much I bought a setting of the futuristic-looking cutlery set shown briefly on Discovery. Cool. It includes a soup spoon that is asymmetric for right-handed users. I like that. I fully endorse just nonsense like that, because that's just proper geekness, and that's the kind of geekness you should wear proudly on your sleeve. LP screw. I'm just tidying my screws up. Give me a sec. You know, I've sat there before now, and I've been like, I really want to buy like the bike jacket that House wears because it's great, but at the same time, unfortunately, I'm thinking it just kind of looks like I'm wearing House's jacket, which is a bit sad. It's a really nice jacket. I did buy the 10th Doctor's greatcoat at one point, and it was how I stopped smoking, because there was a reproduction of the 10th Doctor's greatcoat, and it was like 250 quid at the time. I was like, right, well, if I buy this coat, I can't afford to get cigarettes. So I bought the coat, and I couldn't afford, because I had no option but to not smoke because I had no money. My brain was like, yeah, okay, and just didn't have any cravings. It was great. Unfortunately, the coat was kind of garbage because it didn't look anything like the Alcantara material it's supposed to be, and it was all just like fluffy and woolly. It was a bit rubbish in the end, so I gave it to my mate Busby in the end. It was a nice coat, it just wasn't great. Yeah, I nearly got House's jacket. That was cool. I've sometimes thought about buying little things like that no one would know what the hell it is, apart from somebody might get the reference. Right, next we have issue number... What are we on? Issue, what? 80. Which is one single piece of plastic. This is going to take forever, this. I can see it coming. What other things do I nearly buy? I don't mean for cosplay purposes, because that's a whole different thing. I don't mean like buying like a Starfleet uniform. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about buying things that you're going to use in everyday life that just happen to be branded, or that happen to be reproductions of something from your geek world. You know what I mean. Right, so we've got 3 HM screws, which means we need 2 of them. We've got the inner breastplate support. Breastplate. You knew I was going to do that. Right, first of all, bring back your rabbit of happiness. It's my rabbit, Startle Rabbit. It says, position the inner breastplate support inside the lower part of the chest as shown, fixed in place with 2 HM screws. For once, I'll actually get my screws ready. HM screws, made to make your meat tasty, or something, I don't know. I need to keep that because I've not got a slot for HM screws. Okay, putting that extra screw back in there. What else have I bought that's like... I don't know, I can't think of anything else. I don't think I've bought anything else that's got dangly there, look. Dangly bit. Flippity floppity, look. Moving on. Family friendly. So this needs to go in like... There's 2 little slots there. So that needs to go in there like that, you see? Okay, and it hits in place with 2 FM screws, which... Do they line up with the holes? Are we going to have to make holes again? What will it actually screw into? Not very deep holes. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, I think they just about line up. Let's find out, shall we? Let's see if we can line things up in a goodly way. Probably not. Oh yeah, that just put some oil on that, but it's in now anyway. Never mind. That one's all right. What should I bought? I mean, I've bought props and things before. I've done. Here you go. Have any of you out there bought like props and stuff? Either replica props or real actual props. I was lucky in the early 2000s, before all this kind of became the norm, and the internet was still fairly young, and it was still quite unheard of. I actually managed to snag some actual proper screen-used Star Trek props. It was like, oh! Nowadays, you'd no chance. I got myself a next generation tricorder and a Voyager phaser. And I did get a Voyager pad, but the pad's a replica, it's not an original, so... yeah, an actual screen-used tricorder. This is great. It's a dummy tricorder. They're like stunt props. They're like not the hero props with the blinkies and the lights and stuff. They were just like dummy props for our action scenes and for extras to have, so it doesn't matter if they get knackered and broken. So I got my boomerang phaser from Voyager, and my tricorder, and a few comm badges. But this was like in the early 2000s, so the internet was still fairly new, and a lot of people didn't really have access to do this. You'd have to physically go to an auction place. So I was like, well, early days of the internet. Okay, that's in place, and that's nice and firmularity. Yes. Yes, and I did manage to get myself as well, I think I've told you this before, I managed to get myself some some actual screen-used weapons from a company called Stembridge. They don't exist anymore. That's issue 80, by the way. They don't exist anymore, Stembridge, but they used to be a prop house for film and TV, and they specialised in weapons and replica weapons, like, you know, rubber guns and things. They were provided both actual weapons for production and artificial ones for like background use. Right, what we've got now? Issue 81. And again, it was the early days of the internet, so you could get these things fairly easily. So I got myself an AK-47. It's all rubber. They're all rubber with a steel tube inside because they're designed to be worn by like an extra in the background, or for somebody on like a hero protagonist on camera. But when he's doing some kind of rolling around, you don't want to actually damage a real weapon. Or for any scene where somebody's not firing a weapon in most movies, it's usually a rubber prop. So yeah, I've got an AK-47 from The World Is Not Enough. I got an Uzi from Commando, and I got a Francis Bass assault shotgun, but I don't know what that was from. And they're all originals, because I think Stembridge had just gone out of business and they were just clearing out all the weapons. So yeah, right. So this is issue, which are we on? 81, which is not that one. That's 82. It's rubber. Is this one down? Oh, that's big. Oh, I got a big. It's a big heavy metal bit. Heavy metal. Did I get some of the props? I can't remember now. It's like 25 years ago coming up to. God, that's heavy. Did I get any other props? I don't think I bought any other props. I think that's all the props I've got. Sorry folks, got to bounce. Catch you all later on the Friday Frolic. Until then, be seeing you, says Paul Lewis. Thanks a lot, matey. Take care. Rare Bunny, says the Bobbins. I cannot unsee Cyber Rabbit face. You can't. If I had a couple of like googly eyes to put there, because it's like he's got a big round mouth, which doesn't really work. It's a bit like when I was making when I was making the Sinanju, and it looked like that Pokemon that I can't remember the name of, Bulbasaur. The Sinanju. No, the Sazabi chest looked exactly like Bulbasaur. It was like, Barda. Very weird. I couldn't not see that. Right, we've got the back end here. It's a very heavy piece of metal. Beautiful. I do love the paint finish on this. It's fantastic. And I have to say, props to them. I've not yet had a piece that's had any kind of scratching on it or anything like that. I've got a few dings and scrapes on mine from assembly, and I've got a few plastic bits where some of the paint scraped off. But in terms of the metal stuff, none of it. It's perfect. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. That's just absolutely gorgeous. And the colour's actually a bit deeper than you're seeing it now, because you're seeing it on a webcam. The colour's actually deeper. I have a Graflex camouflage attachment handle, the same real-world item used for Luke's lightsaber, says Jeff. Yep, absolutely Graflex flash. Also has a very accurate machine aluminium prop of the faster-than-light key that was used to make Battlestar Galactica go really fast. Cool. Is that BSG new or BSG original? Is that like the... I have a part of an R2 droid, R2 KT that was screen used, says Jeff as well. Awesome. There's something about props. I always occasionally go and like have a browse around the prop store of London just to see what's about. Because if I ever win the lottery, you know where I'm spending my money. And mostly I look around for things like models from sci-fi series, like screen used models. Sadly, such things never become available. Very rarely become available. When they do, you know, you have to be rich. Right, so we have 81 A and B. These are marked left and right. So, place the right finishing detail, marked with an R, in the space on the right side of the back armour plate. So I want for a find a R. That says L. That says R. So that goes in here. That was very nice, I like that. And that is fixed in place mit das IP-Screw. Ja, das ist richtig. If we get time later, if I get to finish this on time, give me remind me and I'll show you my phaser and my tricorder if you want. They're only down there in the cupboard. I've had to clean them a few times. They got very dirty and dusty, unfortunately. IP screw, IP freely. Now, where's my proper screwdriver? So yes, would you guys have any interest in watching me streaming Wolfenstein? Let me know. I say if you're watching this not live, you can let me know in the comments. If you're in the chat, let me know in the chat. I'm really enjoying playing it, so I'd really enjoy just playing it for you guys. I'm playing it on like the easiest possible setting though, because I'm just enjoying the story. And I'm also old and a big girl, so yeah. I think the setting's called Can I Play Daddy? It's great. I can basically I can sneak around and use a silenced pistol to one-shot bad guys. There you go. That looks very nice, that. Oh, yes. The back plate now has its two finishing details will be visible when the shoulder stabilizers are lifted up. Oh, that's it. And that concludes this issue. Wow. I told you, there's a lot of busy work in these episodes. Next, issue 82. What time are we on? 1 hour, and we've done almost 2 boxes. Okay, now we've got some twiddly joints to make. Twiddly joints, twiddly joints. Twiddly joints, bum. Right, IP screws, I've got a slot for those that can go back in there. Just tidying my screw. I'm policing my screws. I've got some bags up here that are all just screws that I don't have slots for, so. Right, we have to make a attaching device now, little hinge type device, which I think requires fiddliness. Right, so we should have got springage. I need a little tray for securing the, yes, and to police my small parts. I learned that phrase, you know, from reading some of the Halo books, the books based on the Halo Combat Evolved. Policing, because every now and then Master Chief will order one of the other Spartans to police the weapons, like all the weapons lying around on the ground. He asks them to police them, as in sort them all out, pick them all up, make sure they're all taken account of. Metal rod, and some bits. There we go. Make sure there's nothing in the plastic. Okay, let's see what we have to do. Put the torsion spring, which is this little puppy here, into the angle part of the hole on the side of the chest connector lever, which is this puppy here, as shown in the image. Okay, right, so how do I do this on camera and make sure you can see it as well? And make sure I can actually get to it. Got 2 HM screws, I guess we're going to need, because we've got 3 of them. Right, so this needs to go in like that. There. Okay. Das ist richtig. I can do this! I can do this! Then insert the pin. I can't get it out. Insert the pin shaft through one of the holes in the side of the chest connector base, which is, let's for the sake of argument do that one. Tight fit. Now, holding the base, carefully position the connector lever on the torsion spring. Try to keep the spring in position while you push the pin shaft so it passes through the... What? So, okay, so that needs to... flangularity. So that needs to go in there like that. Let's put that back in there. That goes on there. And then this needs to do what now? With who? What now? That needs to go in there. This is where it's going to get fiddly. It needs to go through that gap and into the spring. I've got to somehow line all this nonsense up. Good luck with that, Fox. Especially when that wants to go through now, but doesn't in a minute. What if I do it? Put that back on there. We've done a couple of these before, and they're always quite fun. Star, not actually fun at all. Right, so that goes on there. That goes in. There we go. No, we don't. Fail. Because you can't see where the hole is. Right, we're in. We'll get through that hole there. Yes, huge success. And through the other side over here, like that. Sit there you go. There's lovely. Just pinging down a bit. There we go. And then through that hole there, which there's no hole on the other side. Okay. Okay, so that's there. I thought there was a hole on this side, but there is. Wait, so why is it not going through the... Oh, I see. Yeah, hang on. There we go. Yes, huge... Oh, that was a lot easier than I thought. I must have done it wrong. There's obviously something gone wrong somewhere. Because now it should look like... Check the lever turns and returns to its original position due to the action of the torsion spring. Zip, pew, zip, pew, zip, pew. Hopefully, that's correct. It's very satisfying. It was also mostly off camera. Woohoo! It's me, Chris Pratt. Place the... Oh, right, here we go. Right, now. That's that bit done. Let's get the back of the torso. Place the connector button 82C into the square hole in the back armour plate. 82C, you see? This goes in like... Which way around? Like that. Okay, so that goes in there. Position the two springs onto the two pegs on the button. Okay. Onto the two pegs. They're loose. Brilliant. That's what I really needed. Not like the other things where they just, in the dodge, where they lock on really tight. And then, making sure the springs don't move, place the connector mechanism on top of them. The base has two of the other two pegs underneath which fit into the springs. Right, so that needs to be... Oh, Lord. I've got to somehow get that on there and line up the springs with those pegs. My head's going to be in shot, I'm afraid. And I'm doing it on a spongy work surface. Fantastic. Okay, we might be in. Nope, we're not in. Let's get that spring on that peg. Gentlemen, get your springs on your pegs. Okay, we might be in. Might not be in. Might be in. Are we in? I'm not sure we're in. We're out. Are we in? There we go. Huge success, I think. Now I've got to hold that in place. Fix in place. Holding the pieces together firmly with your fingers. Yeah. Secure in place with 2 HM screws. Right, so that's that there. HM screw number 1. 1, not 2. Oh, get off. I've got 2 of them now. Oh, with the magnet stickage. Get off. Oh, Fi. Right, so that's that one. This is where I have to hope it's all lined up and also on camera. That'd be great. That's one. I didn't put any oil on that. Fudge. Some oil on it. On this one. Head in shot. I know. Man in suit. Man in suit. This one, that one. I'll take this one out again because I only put it in lightly. I forgot to put any oil on it. God, I'm special. I also can't imagine that I'll have to take this out again. I can imagine I'm going to have to take this off again, so a little bit of lubrication makes life a little easier. Right, so that should now, hopefully, if I get that locked in place. Now it says, make sure the thing works, so it should still ping back like that. So if I press that button, aha, 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 you see, it's a working button, sir. Oh, sexy times. I've made a mechanism. Mechanism. Always get a little free bit of ASMR with me. Right, that's that bit. Cool. Cool. Right, that's that bit done. That concludes box number 2. I think we will finish all 3 of these boxes now. I think we're going to be done quite nicely. There, let's get the last box done. That's why I like this Iron Man set, you see. It's great for streamers because it's all, hopefully, all kind of quick. You watch that, it's going to kick my ass and give me loads of complicated bits now. Right. So last of all, we've got issues 83, 4, 5 and 6 to get us up to date. Let's put these over there. 83, 4, 5 and 6. There we go. I'm seeing lots of simple plates of armour here. This could be interesting. Might be finished in time for Christmas. Yeah, so I thought I'd do this today and I thought I'd give it to everybody because it's Christmas. And this will be the last one of these before, you know, another couple of months. So seeing as it's Christmas, I'll give you this one for free. Normally you have to be a patron or a channel member to watch these live. The Battlestar Galactica FTL key was from the original miniseries in the 2004-9 shows. I don't remember it. I probably would if I saw it. Right, so we've got... Oh, what was that screw? MH. Have I got MH screws? Slot for MH screws? Nope. Okay, put them over there. PS screws. Do. La 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 la. I'm guessing nobody has any interest in watching Wolfenstein then. Wolfenstein gameplay. I would go back to Cyberpunk eventually. Oh, we've got a photo. Oh, that's beautiful. Hang on. Oh, that's delightful. Oh, a little bit of a moist trouser moment here. We've got a delightful, beautiful piece of like photo etch. Look at that. Now I think there is some bending to be done in this. I'll get my little tweezers of slightly smaller blade, nose end. I think there's some bending to be done here. So, let's find out. Issue number 83. If it's photo etch, I'm probably going to break it. Let's just find out. Right. So we've got that, and that. Don't need that just yet. We'll put that over there out of the way. Put those. That's beautiful. It's quite thick as well for photo etch. Something about photo etch things with grills with holes in it, it just makes you all excited, and it's just like, oh, moist. Right. Assembly of the lower right flap. Okay, so the round protruding tabs are marked with a pre-fold. Fold them carefully downwards as shown, so they are more or less at a 90-degree angle. And when it says downwards, it means up, because the image shows them pointing up. What? That's really... It shows you that way, and it says fold them down. But it then shows them pointing up. And when it means down if it was that way around. That's really poorly worded. Okay, so this is where it all goes horribly wrong now. Fold them with the thing. It's a 90-degree angle. So we get these. Got a little pre-cut mold mark there. I hate doing this. Is this the right way? Sorry, wait, what? Yes, this is what it says. Because it does show going that way. So yes, it is the right way. An angle of 90 degrees, das ist richtig. Yeah, I'm all so nervous doing this. Beautiful work there. Beautiful little bits of photo etch. Lovely. Can't get the things in the right direction there. Did anyone watch the Game Awards last night? I was thoroughly bored through the whole thing. There was not really any games of any major interest that were announced, and they're mostly Sony anyway. I had a passing interest in the Space Marine 2. That'll be interesting. Everything else was like, not really interested, thanks. Really wasn't much of any interest last night. Right, place the upper right flap. That was a bit nerve-wracking doing that. Upper right flap. Oh, look at that. That's nice. I like that. Upper right flap on the lower right flap, which is that one. Fitting the pieces together using the hinge at the side. Hinge. Using the hinge, using the, what? Oh, like that, okay. There we go. Oh, I see. Right, so you've got a hinge there. You've got a piece of plastic sticking up. That's not going to be good, is it? That goes in there like that. I can see this being fiddly. I can see this being very fiddly. You're going to ask me to line up 4 different things now, aren't you? I can see this coming. I need a something. I need a pin. I need a big fat pin. Let me see if I've got a big fat pin. Hang on a minute. Yeah, big fat pin, where are you? Do I have any fat pins or do I just have thin pins? I have a fat pin. No, it's not that fat, but it will do. I could do with some bigger, fatter pins, really. Oh well. Hang on. Right, so it's not really that fat of a pin. It just means I can try and line that up a bit better. Of course, I've got to get a screw through there, but I know I'm going to have to put the metal bit on it as well. Needs to go there a little bit. And then it says put this bit on here, like that. Ooh. And then screw it all together. Wait, what? And I've got to put another bit. Oh dear Lord. I've got to put this bit on and then get a screw through all of that. 2 different screws. We'll tell you what, let's... It's got to be... Wait, what? I've got to get all that lined up. And then I've got to put this on here, like that. And all that has to line up by magic. Because friendship is magic. Okay, that's going to be not in any way challenging at all. Not. At all. Not. I think what the best thing to do will be to drop that screw. Oh, there it is. Where's it gone? There it is. I think the best thing to do here will be to do a deep sigh and go, oh God, why am I doing this on a live stream? Will be to pre-thread this screw into this here a little bit. Just so I don't have as much work to do. And get that on here as well. Maybe pre-thread, here we go. Maybe get it through the metal bit. I'm just thinking out loud here. Get it so the screw is going through the metal bit, just to hold that in, because holding like 5 different things in place is going to be a massive pain in the backside. I mean, significantly massive. Get the screw on that side as well. This may not work. I'm trying to do it logically. Okay, so I'll line that up there. Looks like a communicator from Star Trek. I finished watching DS9 now. I'm on to Voyager now. Voyager was never my favourite, but on repeated watching, I do grow to like it more. At the end of the day, it's more Star Trek, so I'm not going to complain. Right, so that goes on there like that. That's loosely attached on there. This can now fit over there. And hopefully, if I'm a good boy, and if I've been good, and I'm lucky, and if the stars align, they're not aligning. My stars are not aligning. Me. Why must you do this to me? If I can get one of them in, that's a start, I suppose. It makes life a little bit easier. Okay, that one I think we're in. Yeah. Fantabulosity. If I can get one of them in, then I can work on the other one in a minute. Right, that's going in there. Just loose. Let me get this other one out and we'll redo it, because this one isn't quite lined up. So I think what I can do is, if I jiggle that a little bit. Got to do two of these, haven't I? It's that moment when you do something really fiddly and like annoying like this, and then you realise, oh, it's one of two, and you're like, oh, fudge. Because you lined up three different things with holes you can't see to make sure it's all lined up. There's no guarantee it's all in the right place, but we'll find out. Tomato screws. I read some words, but they just bored me, so I stopped reading them. Let's move this magazine out of the way. So that's that one in there. That's that one on there. I don't need to do it too tight because it's not going to be flippy flappy. I do think this needs to be bent a bit because that seems a bit... Yeah, I think this is meant to be slightly formed to the... It's not such a big deal to actually bend it, though. That's not the end of the world. But bend it into shape. I think it's supposed to look like it fits flush, you see. We'll find out. I'll find out before I bend it. Let's find out. Check the hinge, allows the air brake elements to move easily. Yes, there you go. And that concludes that issue. Cool. I'm going to guess the next one is the same thing. Let's hope the next one is as easy as that. Oh, yeah, we've got the same again. Yes. Look at that. That is nice, though. Look at that. Just, oh, it's lovely. You can't knock it. It's very nice. 3D beam up. I'll just shut up now. Right, so the next one is issue 84, which is this one. It's the same again. What was I talking about? No idea. I have done that one. I'd watched Wolfenstein because I never played it and it sounds interesting, says Jeff. Flaps, says Shellard. Yeah, I thought you'd like it. Because it's all games you never played. There's lots of bad language in it. There's even get this right. There's even a sex scene. There might even be more than one. I'm not sure. But I was playing it yesterday. I was playing New Order. I'm like, oh, I forgot about this. There's a bit of a slightly rude sex scene in it, in a video game, and it's actually really good. It's kind of tame, but it's very nicely done. And it's like, oh, that's quite a good 3D model. That is. Right. So we now have the same again. Right, so I folded the magazine poorly. I made a poor folding choice. What are we on? 9? I've got 7:30. Finishing shortly. 5:30, 6:30, 7:30. We've done 2 hours. That's all right. Right, so we're gonna have the same again, aren't we? So first of all, take your happy device and fold it upwards, not downwards. See, this says fold them carefully towards the marked side, not fold them carefully downwards. So it needs to be, yeah, that way. This side's a pain if you're right-handed. Whereas the other side would be a pain if you're left-handed. Oops. Yeah, the thing with Wolfenstein is it's not just like 1960s, but Germany won the war. There's also like supernatural stuff and weirdness in there. There's one game in the series that's kind of shunned that involves like an alternative dimension, but it's been kind of shunned, although it's in the canon. There's like weird kind of stuff. There's ancient mystical technologies. It's all occult and stuff like that. So yeah, it's quite good. The aforementioned titular Castle Wolfenstein is the head of the SS's paranormal department. That's where the paranormal department's based, you see. So, I can't remember how New Order ends. And I've got no idea about the New Colossus. Right. So I have to do the same again now. Also, it has one of the best Scottish characters in any video game ever. Has some of the best single lines of dialogue in any video game ever. One of them being from said Scottish character. And involves a swear word I can't reproduce on this show. It's that level. DEFCON 3 level swear word. Where's my pin? My pin of aligning. Oh, it went straight through the hole, didn't it? Because it's smaller than the hole, you muppet. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Shellard says flaps, I think. I've got my lenses on, I can't quite see what he said. I'm covering up the hole I'm trying to look down with my thumb, which is really clever. Well done, Foxx. Make sure it's all lined up so I can get the... Ow! Stabity with this... Yeah. Remember the pointy end of the pin there, Foxx? That's the pointy bit. Pointy end is the back. Oh, there you go. That's perfect. That's perfect. Right, so we need to do the same again now. So that's going to go like... That's going to go like there, and then this goes on like that. So this needs to have that in like that. I think that's the way it goes round. My stomach's making funny little noises. My belly keeps going. I don't know what that means. It's not I'm hungry noise. Otherwise it'd make that noise all the time. It's some other noise. I think maybe my belly's busy making poops or something. I don't know. Right, can't get this screw to go in because it's too long. My screw is too long. Also, there's a metal bit in the way. That doesn't help either. Dingle bit. It is hard to get screws straight when they're so long. There's a lot of ways I could have worded that better. I'm not going to lie. I think someone just typed the word hinge, but again, I've got my lenses on, so I can't quite tell. It looked like somebody typed the word hinge. I was channeling Tony Helgen35, who of course handles all my complaints, helgen35@geocities.com. So that goes on like that. That goes in there. Let's get these attachmentated, if we can. Prepare the unguents and prayers to the Emperor to make sure these are lined up and there's no pin on the end of your drill bit on your screwdriver. Look it off. Thank you. That's going in nicely. We like that. What is this one here? This one is not quite so... Is it lined up? I don't know. I don't know. Oh yes. Oh yes. I think you'll find that most satisfying. Yes. Very good, yes. I love it when these things work nicely. Sometimes these kind of hinges where you've got like 3 or 4 components, they can be an absolute pain because you're trying to jiggle and balance 3 or 4 different things and get a screw through the middle of them all. But sometimes if they're all fit together tight enough, they just stay where you put them, and it's like, yes, fantastic. Otherwise, they just become a nightmare. If they're all loosely fitted parts, it can be complete hell on earth. There we go. So there's the other air brake. I'm not going to bend it actually. I might wait and see what happens, because I don't know how these actually relate to. They might. I don't know how it. We'll find out. Okay, so that one's a bit tighter. That's all right then. That concludes issue 84. Barreling through these now. Right, now we have to do a thing. Oh, we can't have more, surely. Oh, God, we've got more to do. I've got more. Oh, dear. More photo etch. Right. 885. More dingly-dangly joints to do. Oh, actually, I don't mind. They look so nice, I don't mind actually doing them. This might be a bit easier to do anyway. Issue 85. Get to the bender. Spectacle. The bobbin says hinge and then says spectacles. You're a spectacle. Shallon says flap. Flap. Right, so what do we do here? Get the parts out for a start. Get your parts out! Boop. I'm really, really hungry. It's going to end up being takeaway because I'm far too lazy to make fish and chips. You know it's going to be takeaway. Oh dear. Right, so 85B, which is, it looks like some kind of like really cool, weird little submarine with like a little thing on the top. Little, that's the spinny. Moving on. Right. Okay, so 85B is this one because it's that way around. It's got the little pre-cuts there, and it says do them in this way, which is up that way, and then Mr. Rossi, what you want? Cocoa castles in the sun. Okay, so yeah, that's right. So they always bend towards the pre-cut, I think. I hope. Unfortunately, I've got to have the magazine in shot, which is not good for you guys, but such is the downside of doing something small when you've got to have a big component in the shot as well. You end up with the camera really far away, and you can't see much. But like I said before, you're not really here to watch me build an Iron Man. Nobody really cares what I'm doing. Okay, that's that one. Then it says do that and fix it in place with... Wait, what now? Oh. To the lower right. Ooh, okay. Right, so that goes on there, that goes on there, like there, to see. Ooh, right, so that one fits in place and it's flush. That goes on there, and then, Mr. Rossi, what you want? Go Castle. Anyway, moving on, copyright. This goes in here, and a screw attaches all of this goodness. Okay. It needs to be a TP screw. A TP screwer. Okay. I can do this. I can do this. A TP screw. So we shall preload the screw into the relevant orifice, which will drop. So that needs to go in here first. Oh, wait, no, it can't. It doesn't actually screw in. It just loosely goes through the hole in this bit, and then I'm going to have to literally feed this. Oh. Okay, this is where it gets interesting then. In that case, now we will have a bit of a challenge on our hands because the screw doesn't screw into that. It's just a hole that goes through. Okay, this could get interesting. Let's use the actual screw as the thing to set everything up then. That goes there. Oh, actually, it might not be that. Oh, it might be that hard. Let me find out. I'm basically using the screw as the pin to seat itself into all the relevant orifices and holes. Oh, flange. Is that going to go through? Okay, that's in place. So if I get that screw, und push it through, get the screw and push it through. Ja, das ist richtig. Oh, that's going in. Oh, I went all Phil Hardin then. Oh, Tony, look at that. That's right. Oh, I like that. Oh, we'll have a bit of that. I'll have a bit of that, Tony. I'll have a bit of that really, really tight. Oh, it's a tight fit, isn't it? Oh. Das ist ein very tight fit. There we go. So that hinges there. Ooh, I quite like that. I've no idea trying to visualise this, how it actually goes together. That hinges there. And that hinges there. Cool. Twang. All very tight, but then it's fine. That's that one. Assembly of the left spoiler. Spoilers! Spoilers, you bugger. Right. I don't know what I'm talking about. I really don't know what I'm talking about. I have no concept of anything right now. Expect no sense from people like me. I was born not making sense. My belly's still making funny little noises. That goes on there like that. Looks does look like some kind of weird sci-fi 1960s drawing of a space submarine. Space, I don't even know what that means. Moving on. Right, so there's a screw. I'm a screw, how do you do? We shall prime the pump with the pin of linearity, which is on the other side now, which makes it a bit tricksy. That's the pin in. Take the pin out. Screwdriver in. Screw in. Rowland and Martin screw in. None of you will get that reference probably, or maybe very few of you. The younger amongst you will have no idea what Rowan and Martin is or are or were. That's that in. There you go. That's nice. Got to be careful. I don't want to bend the metal piece. I want to be able to hinge the metal piece rather than just bend it. At the moment, the metal piece isn't spinning round. It's bending. That's a bit concerning. The metal piece isn't actually rotating freely, it's just tweezers out. Yeah, I'm just bending that. Das ist nicht richtig. Something's not right with it. Let's have a look at it, see what it is in. Yeah, that's rotating freely now. Okay, it's not at 90 degrees, that's probably why it's a bit janky. It's not quite at the right angle. The right angle is not right angle. That'll be better. Hopefully a little bit better. Yeah, the problem was that the metal part here, the hinge, wasn't actually moving like that. It was just that bit was bending, and that's not a good state of affairs. You know what I mean? It's not how this. Oh, shut up, belly. Honestly, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's really being quite vocal at the moment. It's not how this thing is supposed to go together. The little arm wasn't quite at 90 degrees, so it was probably a bit out of shape. Let's try again. That bends there. There you go, that's better, much better. That's why you need to get them at 90 degrees, folks. Or maybe just not so tight, also. Get off would also help. There you go. Because I don't want to be bending this plate and then you just snap it, because that would suck. So it is very loose, unfortunately. It's not ideal. It's a bit loose. But I can probably do a little tiny bit more. Also, the screw sticks out a little bit. I want to be able to... There, it's still workable. That's fine. I'll try to take it as far as I can before it becomes immobile. Yeah, there. Just doesn't move at all, does it? I could put a little tiny touch of oil in there, I suppose. That one's a bit looser and more flippy flappy, but we can live with that. Okay, so that's that done. What is next? Now we have to attach them to the torso area. La 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 la. This is where we have to hope that those other bits that we couldn't quite get lined up now line up somehow. Okay. Right, take the chest assembly from... Oh, it's not this one. Go away, you. We don't care about you. We want this one here. 2 IP screws we're going to need. That's a TP screw. Do we have a slot for TP screws? We do not. Okay. 2 IP screws. Let's just get all of them. Now, you remember how before it made like a steampunk rabbit for the front torso? Well, right now, that looks like a Cyberman. It does it all. Eyes. I'm going to turn it into a fat bat. It's going to turn from a Cyberman into a fat bat. You can't not see a Cyberman now, can you? Maybe that way would be better. No, that way's better. Right, so, what do? Position the right flap stage 1, which is that one, I think. And use an IP screw to attach it from the back. Okay, so we've got that tube there, that hole there. Okay, and then IP screw. Okay, this is going to be fairly simple. Simple. I like simple. Simple is my kind of currency. IP screw. It's not needing oil because it's going to plastic. I'll tighten it up properly in a minute. And then again, same on the other side. I'm going to assume. You should never assume. It makes an ass of you and me. But for this one time, I'll make an exception. Right now. Belly, shut up. I'll feed you soon. Stop whinging. Honestly. Like I'm a petulant child, my belly. That goes on there. I pee freely. I don't pee freely. I'm not on camera, probably. There we go. Be a porn star, Fox. Do it on camera. You see what I did there? I'm quite proud of that. I made that up in my brain just at that exact moment. I'm quite clever sometimes, you know. So we'll make sure those are in tight. Not too tight because it's going into plastic. We don't want to knacker the plastic. Tight as. So they're on there now. Now, I will have to reshape this a bit because it's not sitting flat. But that's fine. It's photo etch so I can bend it. So it'll take some kajiggering to get that to fit flush. Because then that will just sit flat on the back like that, you see. I'm not going to do that. Or should I just do it now? Yeah. It's quite resilient to bending, unfortunately. It's not like really thin photo etch that you can easily bend. It's actually quite resistant to it. So it'll require some finagling, because you can see there it kind of just sits at an angle, so I'll need to bend that round so it sits flat like that. We'll sort that out later. But anyway, I have now turned it into a fat bat. There's the eyes. You see, eyes, fat bat. Listen, I've got to keep my imagination sparked in some way. The 2 flaps are now ready. Check all the elements move easily. Yes. Yes. I will need to bend those to shape them though. Apply some brute forcing. Brucey forcing. Right, my love. Right, my love. Did he do well? Oh, yeah. There you go. MODOK. You know what I'm saying? I hate the art, the Marvel art style. It's things like MODOK that just look so stupid, like that. It's things like that that put me off liking Marvel. Just stupid nonsense. Just such rubbish. I don't know. That's why I never got into Marvel. The art, it just annoyed me. I can't help it. It's genetic. Right, last one. Last one we have is number 86. And in this one we are... Oh, I think we're pretty much done. And you'll find out why in a minute. I am grateful that I didn't have to get all the arms and legs out for this nonsense. That's an IP. I think we have a slot for IP screws. Let me police these screws. Do we? Yes, there's a slot for IP screws. Put it in there. Bing, and away it goes. And away it goes. SP screws. Do we have SP screws? Any advance on SP? SP? No. Okay. Right, last one. And then we'll be done. Testicles, spectacles, wallet and watch, says Shellard. I didn't know you were Catholic. I'm somewhat saddened by the fact that we might not see any new model making videos from Tony Helgen 3.5, but at least his old ones are still up. Tony was my gateway to the boom pod. I think you will eventually, at some point. The difficulty was he works for the NHS, and then he moved in. He got, he moved to a new house, and he's got a family now. And then there was the chocolate velociraptor. He has got some things on the go that he's in the middle of doing free models, and he probably will get back to it one day. But it might take a little while, that's all. But he will get back to it. He's still as nutty as ever. He's still a Burke. If you're watching this, Tony, you're a Burke. We'll be proud of your Burkularity. Right. And now, the conclusion. These are metal screws, so I've got my oil still open. I'm dying to do a massive, dirty, great big trump, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's not a late night show. Right, so. Take the front part of the chest structure. I say that now, but this would be an easy finish, but it might not go together very well. Make sure the reactor mast moves correctly. Carefully place the rear part of the chest. I might get tried to install the thingy reactor. Oh no, not yet. Rear part of the chest mast should go into the hole in the back. Turn the assembly over so that try not to force the pieces together. I'm just reading words and my brain's going ah. It's telling me I should put a piece of cotton on the end of that to make it thread through. Do we need to go that far? It needs to go through this little tiny hole here. Do we really need to do that? Or can I just make sure it goes in the hole? Would that not be just as easy? I suppose a little piece of cotton might be an idea, actually. Unless I'm just very, very lucky and it goes in first time. Highly unlikely, of course. Yeah, it's very wobbly. Tell you what, better than cotton. Let's do, because I haven't, well, basically I haven't got any cotton. What I do have is some Easy Line. I don't know how this will work. Probably not very well. Get some Easy Line. Do. Easy Line, of course, being not cuttable. Being rubber. Right, I suspect it probably won't work very well, but we'll give it a try. I can't pick it up. I can't see it. I can't pick it up. Right, so let's make a little loop. If they put a little hole in the end of this, it would have been even better for them making a little loop to put thread over. But never mind. Can't have everything in life that you want. It is the order of things. Make a little loop. Put that on there. Zip. Okay. How does it say to do that? Tie it round. Okay. It says to tie or glue, so it's obviously not going to be a fouling issue if you glue a piece on here. So let's just do a double tie and then we'll double knot on there. I'll cut that off. Where's my scissors? Cut that off. Now you see what I've done here is I failed to do is leave a message inside the torso of this. I always like to leave a little message in things when I build something, but I failed to do that here, unfortunately. But never mind. Right, so this now needs to go in that hole there. So we can sneak that in there somehow. Using the power of grace, the power of gravity and knocking the camera. Let's put the flaps down here. Right, let's get some tweezer action going on. Right, you go in there. By in there, I mean in there. There we go. Yes. Yes. Huge success. Possibly. Maybe not. Now we've got thread there. If I line this up, I can hear things pinging. If I line this up and then pull that, it comes off. Brilliant. Well done. Deepest of sighs. Right, can I just wing it and hope it works? Difficult to do this on camera at the same time. This is not going to happen, is it? Yeah. Beh. I can't actually get a light source anywhere near it. Right, we're going to have to use super glue, aren't we? Gosh darn it. I was kind of hoping not to. Okay. If we must, we must. If it is required, where did the thread actually go then? It's not the piece of... Weird. We'll make it a very long piece so it can be easily managed. Hang on. Hang on. Right. Right, there's that. I'll knock the camera. I'll get some... Oh! I'll knock the camera again. All the fun of the fair. Let's move this out of the way. I will. We'll do it the oldie-fashioned way then, shall we? Mit the superglue, ja, das ist richtig. With the careful use of superglue. The very careful use of superglue. If I get the superglue out of the pot. There we go. That'll do. Just clean that out. Make sure it's cleaned. Where's my tissue? There is the tissue. Right. Obviously I don't want to glue any part of the mechanism because that would be a bad thing. Okay, just make sure my glue pot's not blocked up. I'm just cleaning out me nozzle. It's always important to go into things with a clean nozzle. Super glue. There we go. It's not really the solution wanted, but never mind. Right, that can go back on there. I knew I wouldn't get away with it. I knew there'd be something fiddly to do. So this should be fairly straightforward. We need 2. Go down to Electric Avenue, and then we take it higher. We don't really. Right, so get a little bit of glue on the end. Because this is easy line, it's basically rubber. So what I can do is I can touch it to this. It's rubber and it sets with CA glue. So what I can do is get a little bit of the setting solution. Just touch it there. Ping. There we go, done. That should now be set. What I can do now is wrap that round a bit. This will guarantee this will ping off at the first chance. That'll be a complete waste of time. So what I can do now is wrap that round a few times. Do it on camera. Wrap it round a few times. And then, oops, because they say about using thread, so obviously big fat cotton thread's a lot thicker than this stuff. So it doesn't matter if I wrap it around a few times. Get some super glue on there again. Seal that in place. If they'd just given you a little hole in the end, that would have just solved that problem completely. It would have made this a lot easier. If they know you've got to use a bit of thread, it gives a little hole. Some zip kicker. There we go. Now, let's see how this turns out. Probably abominably. Abominably. So that's now pullable. It's not going to come off. Hopefully. Hopefully. Tune in next week when you'll hear Dr. Bob say, "Oh, it's come off again. Oh, bugger." I'll move the super glue out of the way because that would just be ultimate sadness. Get this far into building this thing and you get super glue all over it. And it's like, oh. We'll feed that through there. We'll feed that through. Come on now, tweezers. Play ball. We'll be on camera. La 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 la. This is the bit that Chris should have been watching really, so he could mock me, but he's not here as he's playing Horizon with Katie. Oh, This is most frustrating. Come on now. Get in the hole. Get in your hole. I'm trying to do this with lenses on as well, which does not make life easy. And whilst trying to be on camera. Oh, almost. Almost. I need a bit of thread on the bit of thread to make me able to get hold of it. There we go. Right, that's in, I think. I can see it. Right. So, what I need to do now is make sure that doesn't come out again on the other end. And what I can do to do that is take a little bit of super glue. Oh, where's that super glue gone? A little bit of super glue. And I can put some on there. And this just makes sure it doesn't pop back out again. I'll show you what I'm doing in a sec. I know you can't see it. I need to make sure that super glue, that thread, does not come out of that hole ever again. So, I'll just do that. There we go. I'll show you in a second. Panic not, my friends. I shall wrap that around there a few times. I just suddenly thought of doing this now in my brain. My brain said, hey, here's an idea. And the other part of my brain went, oh, that's a really good idea. And then another part of my brain said, where's that cocktail stick gone? And the last part of my brain said, no idea. We'll use this bit instead. Oh, it's there on my trousers. Never mind. Right, so that's on there. Super glue that on, because that bit I don't care about. A bit of zip kicker. Zip kicker! Being very careful when I'm near this paintwork. So what I basically made is a little bar that means that I can't go back out through that hole now. So no matter what happens, it can't disappear into the void. So now we can try again. Make sure I've not got any glue on my hands. To put this puppy together. Move the super glue out of the way. Again, minimal sadness occurrences will always be good. This needs to go like that. That needs to go there. That needs to sit on top. Somehow. I'm not sure I even quite know how. This isn't going to work, is it? It's not going to work. I can see it coming. Or not coming. There. I can see this not working. I can see this not working at all. Right, I can see clearly now. Ah, there we go. Oh, yes. Ha-ha. Right, it's in the hole. The trick was to go sideways. And now I've got to get the rest of this stuff together. Okay, that's the tricky bit. That bit there, that bit there. It's not feeling particularly like it's stuck together at all in any way, shape or form. What? What am I missing here? Apologies, this is not on camera. How is this even supposed to... they go in there. Is it supposed to be a dirty great big gap? That doesn't seem right. Let me read the book. That doesn't seem right at all. Fit into the slot in the neck piece. Lined up with the slot in the neck piece. What? Get off. thread going everywhere. That needs to go in there, that needs to go in there, that needs to go in there. They go together there like horse and carriage. That goes through. There, I can just about see the thing inside, the rod. I may have to do this off camera because I think this is going to require a bit of fettling and farting about, and not something I can do while I'm on camera. Where's the hole? Come on. Where are you? Where is my little hole? Yeah, I may have to get this sorted on off camera. Even remotely, let's hang on a minute. It's all looped round in a bad place. I think this may not be the ideal thread for this job. It's a bit too thin, I think, this thread. I think it might have to be actual cotton thread. Also, I think it's about to snap as well. No, I may have to do this again with actual cotton thread if I can find some. Right, well, I think what we're going to do, I'm going to have to do this off camera because that's going to be very fiddly. And I don't want to sit here for half an hour trying to do stuff that I need to get my head close in to see. So I think I shall leave it there. That's the last issue anyway. There's nothing more to do after that. So I shall leave it there. When we catch up next time, I shall have gotten that bit done, hopefully, and it'll all be assemblated and we'll all be happy. So until next time, I shall say thank you very much for watching, as always. Don't forget, of course, if you're watching this and you don't already do so, please do consider supporting this channel by becoming a patron or a channel member. You can go to patreon.com/modelmakingguru and become a patron, or you can press join button on any of my content to become a channel member. Either way, you're supporting the channel and helping to keep it alive. And don't forget, of course, big thank you to my sponsors, emodels.co.uk, link underneath this video in the description. A big thank you to them. But we shall leave it there. So take care of yourselves, everyone. I shall see you tonight for the Festus Frolic at midnight on Festa 67's workshop. Don't forget that. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, for some video gamage from Skyrim. On a Sunday again, hopefully, for Warhammer Sunday. So until then, I'll go off and say a few swear words and get this sorted. And until then, I shall say, take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until next time, adios, my belly's going again. Adios, amoebas. Bye.